What's going on, everyone? This is this week's REI deal breakdown. So every week I come to you and I provide a real piece of property that I bought and sold, or that I bought and now is a rental. And I want to share with you how we got the deal and all the mechanics and the numbers and all that stuff. So, you can hopefully learn from this and do your own deals, right? So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Greg Helbeck. I've bought well over 100 houses in two of the most competitive markets in America: New York City suburbs and San Diego. So the Hudson Valley, really, which is the suburbs of New York City, and San Diego, which is Southern California. And I've learned a lot over my career as a real estate investor. This is the only thing I've ever done since I've been out of college. And my goal is to provide as much value as possible through these videos. So if you do get value from this video today, if you could subscribe to the channel and like the video. Once again, if you could subscribe to the channel and like the video, it would really mean a lot to me. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers within the next 90 days. And the best way for you to help me do that is by subscribing to my channel. That's right, I'm pushing at the subscribe button up here and liking the video. That would really mean a lot to me. So today I'm talking about 52 North Bridge Street in Poughkeepsie, New York. If you want to look it up, you can take a look at the property. 52 North Bridge Street in Poughkeepsie, New York. This was a wholesale deal that Taylor Berg and I made $75,000 wholesaling the deal. So what is a wholesale deal? If you're not familiar with a wholesale deal, if you're brand new, it's simply the art of getting a deal under contract and either assigning the contract or buying the property for like 2 minutes and then reselling it to a buyer for the profit. You can make anywhere from $5 to $1.5 million. It really depends on how good you are at getting a deal at a discount and then selling a deal at a premium, right? So at the end of the day, you can make as much money as really the market can dictate if you're wholesaling houses. And this happened to be a big wholesale deal. I mean, normally we make about 30. This one was 75. So hey, it's a great deal. So we found this deal. Taylor and I did a mailing campaign actually a year ago. He was driving around. He was doing driving for dollars, which is when you just drive around and look for shitty properties and you write them down and market to them, the sellers. So he found this beat up. It was a mixed use building up in Poughkeepsie, which is a great area to do business in. Most of our deals recently have actually been in Poughkeepsie, ironically. We had 3 deals this week in Poughkeepsie, ironically. I'm going to start doing more deals in Poughkeepsie, I guess, because it's lucrative. Anyway, so we ended up finding this seller. They were not that motivated originally. I believe they actually put the property on the market. They put this thing on the open market and they could not sell it because there were some problems with tenants and whatnot. They ended up taking the property off the market, and then Taylor ended up following up with them because they originally called a mailer that we sent them, which is just a piece of mail we sent to say, hey, we want to buy and do you want to sell? And they called. Anyway, so Taylor followed up with them, and then he told me, hey, I got this deal. And ironically, it was from our mailing campaign. I forgot, honestly. I totally forgot about this. And he's like, let's do this together. So I said, cool. So he wanted me to put down the $5,000 deposit. So we got the property under contract. I sent a $5,000 check to the attorney's office so we can lock the deal up, which means get it under contract. And I put the deal out to my email list, and it was like gangbusters. People were like, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want the deal, I want the deal. I had people begging for this property. It was like freaking a bunch of piranhas attacking a piece of meat. It was crazy, which doesn't happen all the time, but it happens on, 35-40% of our deals. It's like a Congo line to get into this property. So anyway, we found a buyer who wanted to pay a premium. It wasn't a premium. He wanted to pay the price, right? He wanted to pay the price that we had, which is a big spread, 75 grand. So we took him in the property. I personally never saw the house or the building. I never stepped foot in this thing. I don't even know where it is, honestly. I know it's somewhere in Poughkeepsie, near Main Street, I guess. And Taylor met the buyer at the property. He said, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it. Those are his words, not mine. He'll take it. And guess what? He did take it. So we signed a contract with the buyer. We said, you got to close cash and you got to close in like 30 days, which he did. So this was actually yesterday. He closed the deal yesterday. He sent the money to the attorney, and he sent his money to the attorney. Taylor and I bought the property real quick for like 5 minutes, and then we immediately resold the property to the buyer for a $75,000 profit. Yes, there were some attorney fees. There was a little bit of transfer tax there, so we probably netted around, I don't know, maybe 73 at the end of the day, but still, hey, that's just a good profit if you ask me. And we split that down the middle, 50-50, and we both got a great payday, and my team's getting paid, and Taylor's growing his business, and, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So at the end of the day, big lessons that I learned from this deal, and I'm just kind of reflecting on the spot right now, is number one, literally the fortune is in the follow-up. I am a knucklehead and didn't even follow up with this prospect. Taylor, the smart one, ended up doing that, and we ended up getting the deal at a great price, and we sold it for a great price and made a $75,000 payday, minus some fees. It was about 73. So ultimately, if you're following up and you follow up with the right prospects, a lot of people are not going to sell on the spot. They're going to need some nurturing. They're going to need some, communication consistently, usually via the phone. And when they're ready to sell, you're going to be ready to buy, and you're going to be able to put a deal together and help a seller and help a buyer and make a profit as a wholesaler. So you got to follow up. Number two, if you're watching this and you're in New York State, you need to have the money to the deposit, or you need to know someone like me who has the money for the earnest money deposit. Because in New York, you got to put a deposit down before you have a valid contract. And once you have a valid contract, you can flip that contract or flip that property like we did. We bought it for 5 minutes and resold it. And you can make a big profit, right? So you got to have deposit money, or you got to know somebody, if it's in New York, me, who has the deposit money. You got to follow up, and you got to go for big deals, right? It took the same time and effort to make 75 grand than it does when we make 10 grand. It's the same freaking process. It's just bigger numbers and, different, sellers and different buyers, right? So it takes the same time and effort. Literally, ask anyone who is a successful investor. They'll tell you it takes the same time and effort to make 75 grand as it does to make 10 grand. But obviously the payday is 7.5 times bigger, or 6.5 times bigger, whatever the math ends up being. So it takes the same time and effort to make big money versus small money. Hopefully you got inspired from this video, and hopefully you can go out and do deals like this. And if you are in the Hudson Valley, or if you're in San Diego and you want to do a deal like me, if you want to be a tailor and you want to, partner with me, email me, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com. Once again, that's Greg, Greg, @velocityhousebuyers.com. I'd love to do a deal with you. And if you got value from this video, if you can subscribe to my channel and like the video, it would mean a lot to me. I'll see everyone on the next REI deal breakdown. Peace.